Good evening and welcome to the No Structure podcast. My name is Matt and I'll be your host tonight. Tonight is UDFA3 late night draft and chill episode. We are continuing to work through the UDFA3 drafts. Keep preparing for BBM, trying to stay sharp and continue to workshop different builds and different ideas as we head into the main draft season, post-draft, post-NFL draft, that is. So tonight, we'll do one or two UDFA3 drafts, and that's pretty much it. Just gonna kind of chill and hang out and keep getting those reps in. Before we jump into tonight's show, I'm gonna go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Our first sponsor for today's show is Fantasy Fitness. Are you guys ready to dominate your fantasy football leagues? If so, check out Fantasy Fitness. Whether you play best ball, redraft, or dynasty, it doesn't matter. Fantasy Fitness is here to help. They have all the latest fantasy news, player and team metrics, and you can integrate your rosters if you play on Sleeper, FFPC, or Yahoo, where you can track player notes and lessons learned on a per roster basis. Use the trade analyzer, the roster evaluation tools, and much, much more. So go ahead and check out Fantasy Fitness at www.fantasyfitness.io. And today's show is also sponsored by Property Hub. Do you guys own your own home, or do you own and manage rental properties and struggle to find good quality tenants, collect your rent on time, track maintenance issues and expenses? If so, you're going to want to check out Property Hub. Property Hub is an industry-leading mobile-friendly property management app that makes property management simple. Whether you're trying to track maintenance issues and expenses, set up auto pay for rent collection, e-sign your lease, and much, much more, Property Hub is a game changer. Don't believe me? Try it for free for 30 days and decide for yourself. You can get started at www.heypropertyhub.com. Alrighty, well, with those sponsors out of the way, it's time for the show to begin. UDFA3, here we come. This is a 4 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5 advancement structure with a 376 seat final. 10,000 to first, 5,000 to second, 2,500 to third, 1,500 to fourth, and the odd 1,050 to fifth. Got to finish in the top 5 of this tournament, and we intend to do just that. Let's enter a room and get ready to dominate. We have all the sharps out here tonight. I'm sure if you guys are listening and you want to get in on a draft, now's your chance. We're waiting for 5 people. Get on Underdog. Head on over to the UDFA3 tournament and enter the room and try your hand at this. Just know that the competition is steep. Very, very steep. Well, it's a great time to be alive. We are less than a week away from the 2026 NFL Draft, which will be kicking off next Thursday. After that, shortly thereafter, I'm sure, Underdog will be releasing their BBM and some of the other time box tournaments, puppies. So it'll be a great time to be watching the show. We'll be drafting our asses off all summer long, growing the channels and the profile on X. You can find us on YouTube at Fantasy Fitness IO. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Give us a like for this or future episodes. And you can find us on X at Fantasy Fit IO. And you can always find us at the website, www.fantasyfitness.io, where you can stay sharp. You'll get all the latest headlines. We spotlight one player, one team, and one prospect every day. So you'll constantly be learning. Check out those metrics and much, much more. Well, this room is ready to go. We got the 2 spot. So either a faller on Bijan, if somebody wants to grab Gibbs at the 101, or we'll get ourselves some Gibbs. Pretty simple. I'm not going to get cute here at the 102. I don't get a lot of Gibbs, and there's no guarantee I'm going to get them here. We'll do 1 draft, maybe 2 tonight. They've got to be absolute banger drafts. If the first one's not good, we're definitely going back for the second, maybe the third, who knows. Could be here all night. I've got 16 drafts left. I'm not afraid to use them. We get ourselves some Gibbs. Add that to the portfolio. Doesn't mean much if the rest of the build sucks, though. Exposure doesn't mean anything if the exposure you have to certain players is terrible, or the rosters that they're on are terrible. So, how important is exposure? Not that important. What's important is that you pick the right players and you build the right rosters. Now, being that this is a late night stream, the kids are in bed, but you never know. They could come a-calling, and I may have to rush out of here momentarily. So I just want to put that out there. But again, appreciate you guys being here. Again, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the No Structure podcast presented by Fantasy Fitness. You're witnessing a UDFA3 best ball draft on Underdog. We'll be picking at picks 23 and 26. Been doing more robust RB builds of late and attacking the wide receivers more so in the back half of the draft, picks 100 through 200, more so loading up more on the running backs, or at least leaning more into the running backs coming out of the first 100 picks. But it doesn't have to be that way. It always depends on what, kind of falls into your lap and what the rest of the room is doing. But I've definitely got comfortable with those builds. Well, Henry got pulled up, and we're doing a bunch of robust RB here on the back half of the board. But the fun really starts next week, because that's when we go post-draft and BBM goes live and we chase $2 million. We've been putting in the reps. See what falls to us here at pick 23. Probably be London or Bowers. Yeah. Let's go Bowers. Why not? Got our boy Paulino in the house. Welcome in. Always good to see you. We have heavy hitter in this room. I don't see heavy hitter. I don't know why he's not out there repping. You know, I'm going to go Olave here. We'll go Olave. Kind of between Olave and Nico, but fine with either of those. So the start here is Gibbs, Olave, Bowers. Nice balanced start. Nothing too crazy yet. The fun doesn't start until. But yeah, we'll put together a good draft here, hopefully, and just kind of build on the momentum that we've had, that we've been putting together here. Myself, Paulino, Sus, Zero, all the guys in the community, Nick, Bindles. We've been drafting our asses off. Oh, okay. We'll wait around for one more after this because we'll have another good one coming up. Let's take a look at the board. A couple little surprises here. Devonta Smith gets pulled way up to 27. Jacobs falls a little bit. Otherwise, pretty standard. Love at 21. Nice fall on him. And we get the Jefferson pull-up. Someone's trying to get unique. That's fine. It's not going to matter at the end of the day. Let's see, which build do I like the most so far outside of MCH23? I would say I like this Taylor Neighbors Allen. That's pretty sweet. Like this one too, McCaffrey, Barkley, Higgins. It's probably be my two favorite. And this is kind of cool too. Just coming right out of the gate, 4 straight running backs. Question marks for Achane, maybe a little bit for Kyron, but I mean, I like the strategy. Get that done early and move on to the other positions. I didn't go running back for Jacobs there because I had Gibbs. If I didn't have Gibbs, if I was at like the 3 and had Chase, then I would definitely like to get like a Jacobs. But I really like these running backs at this 4-5 turn. Henderson, Judkins, Monty, to name my 3 favorite. So I'd like to get at least one wide receiver in those first 3 rounds, sometimes 2, and then go heavy on the running backs. Henderson gets pulled up to 43. So what does that mean in terms of what's getting pushed to us? All right, one pick away. There it is. For me, the one guy that I don't want to leave here without, as you probably saw from the thumbnail, is Judkins. And there's a lot of other choices, so I'll just get him, make sure that I don't lose him at the turn. And then we'll pick one of these other wide receivers or just maybe grab another running back. I don't take a lot of JMO. Tempted to do that here. Also like Terry. And I like Monty. Let's go JMO. Do a little double. Don't do this a lot. A little bit of a faller on Williams, so I can get behind it when he falls. I'm certainly not reaching up for Jamison Williams, but at 50, little consolidation with Gibbs. Sure. Why not? Let's give it a try. Back to the board view we go. Let's see what's transpiring. Okay. I'll be right back. We'll let this board kind of fill out. Got to check on the kiddo real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Like I said, when you're a dad and you're trying to do this part-time, you do it at night or on your lunch break or before work. And sometimes you got to deal with the kids. But I'm not going to let it stop me. We're growing the channel all summer long. Be here for the ride. You can find us on YouTube at Fantasy Fitness IO. Give us a like and a follow. Help us build the channel. Watch some fun builds and some good best ball content. Especially when I have my buddy Zero here, because he's always bringing some good analysis to the table and some good builds. All right, coming up on pick 71 and 74. Where are we going to go with this build? Okay, one pick. Oh, I guess 2 picks away, but oh, I wrote it all the way down, didn't he? Okay, well, For me, it's about Drake May. All day, Drake May. Lock it up. Probably one of the better picks on the board in this range. And I could go Tyson or Ramadre here. They both are pretty appealing. He goes Tyson, makes it easy for me. We'll get the stack going. Get our third running back. Feeling pretty good. So through 74, we have Drake May stacked up with Ramadre. We've got Gibbs, elite running back, and Judkins, who I would also classify as elite. Maybe not on a great offense, but his talent is certainly elite. And then wide receivers, Olave and Williams. Definitely feel good about Olave. Williams, never feel great about Williams, but he can spike, and consolidating this bet a little bit. And then, of course, Brock Bowers. Can never go wrong with Brock Bowers. All right, in between picks, let's check the comments. Sweet. Sounds like we're on track. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear I'm not the only one who thinks I'm doing a good job. It's easy for me to think I'm doing a good job, right? I mean, probably a little bias in this whole thing. Try to take the bias out, but it's hard. I do try to be very critical of myself and my builds. Obviously, I'm not trying to be full of myself here. I want to get better, and the way to do that is to be critical, accept criticism. I am looking for wide receivers here, quarterback, a stack, a couple different ways we can go with this. Might be slightly early, but to get, say, like Goff, but with a double, I don't think it's like egregious. We'll see what's given to us here. Does this guy have? Nothing. Concern. I would certainly push the quarterback. Okay. If we really want this to pay off, that'd be interesting. We could, I was gonna say, we could kind of flirt with, I don't care for any of this here. Kind of like Jaden Reed. Let's do Jaden Reed. Divisional. Maybe a tad bit early, but that's fine. I was slightly tempted to go, like, make this like a robust, like, triple, which I don't do often, but was pretty confident I could lock it up and do something like Laporta and Goff, but that seemed a little overkill. So, then you're sort of committing to this double tight end, early tight end in a way, to go Bowers, and then I pick 100, you're getting another tight end. I mean, it can work, but now I've got Reed, still have some divisional. He's a total spiker. We've seen his ceiling, so that felt a little bit more appropriate. I certainly wasn't going to get in on Romeo Dobbs here with all the smoke around AJ Brown. There's no point. if anything, Reed's situation got better with the Wicks trade, right? They cleared out Wicks. It's sort of a more proper structure now. You have Reed probably playing mostly slot. You got Watson on the outside and Golden on the outside. So the roles are much more defined. His price has gone up a little bit, about 15 picks or so, but nothing crazy. Still in the same range. So that was my logic, for better or worse. Got our 2 quarterbacks, got our double stack with Gibbs and Williams, have our single stack with May and Stevenson, elite tight end in Bowers. For sure, I concur. Yes, Reed's outlook got better. I don't think there's a lot of debate about that. So, his price has risen marginally, but he was going last year in like the 70s, 80s. That was post-draft BDM, but that was with a torn labrum and other injury issues. So feeling good about his price here. Yeah, I think so far we've got a good build going through 10. But this is where you either melt away, never to be heard from again, or you build a banger. All right, what do we have cooking? No sense in going Shuck here. We've got our 2 elites. Could take the fall on Worthy, which is fine. Or we could also get Higgins here. I don't love Worthy, but it's fine. He's got a best ball profile. He can spike. He's tethered to Mahomes. Okay. I would say here I'm probably C-Rod. Feels like there's not going to be a ton of movement in this draft in that backfield based on what they're paying him. I think they've kind of got what they want there. Maybe they had somebody in the draft, but I feel like his role's pretty safe. So C-Rod here at 122. Maybe you go Higgins over Worthy. I don't know. That's pretty close for me. But let's recap the team. Drake May stacked up with Stevenson, and then Jared Goff double stacked Gibbs and JMO. Running backs are Gibbs, Judkins, Stevenson, and C-Rod. Wide receivers Olave, JMO, Jaden Reed, and Xavier Worthy. And then we have Brock Bowers as our lone tight end. We are just about to wrap up the 11th round. We'll be picking again here at 143 and 146. I don't think we screwed that up. Could have gone a couple different directions there. I mean, we were kind of in the wide receiver, running back market. which you could have mixed in Higgins, maybe White. I just think, there's some questions about White. He could get drafted over by Love. So, I'm not going out of my way to get him unless he falls a little bit. And I have maybe like a Jaden Daniels stack, or I don't know. He just needs to fit the team a little bit better. I think it was fine. Yeah, like the picks. I feel like this pattern of running backs and wide receivers is going to continue. Again, appreciate y'all being here. If you just got in the room, you're listening to the No Structure podcast presented by Fantasy Fitness. This is the UDFA3 late night draft and chill episode. Just about to wrap up the 12th round of this draft. I am Shaheed here. Yeah. We are Shaheed with this pick. And then I kind of like Sharps here as a 5th. We can definitely support him on this team while he makes his recovery whenever he gets back to playing. So as a 5th, that's a solid pickup here. He's back to his 150 price range after he kind of climbed up there into the 130s for a minute. Feeling good about those 2 picks. Just went Seattle. Why not? We'll go one more round or 2 more rounds, I guess, because they're right next to each other. And then we'll recap the team before we make our final 5 selections. And we move into the make or break rounds. Gonna sit here for a second and review the team so I can kind of come up with my strategy. Thinking it through here. A Hunter Faller, I would probably scoop on that. Mendoza, I don't need him, but could justify him here. Get a little stack. Naylor's interesting here too. Could maybe build a quick double by tacking on Mendoza and Naylor, or Tucker and to Bowers. Don't necessarily need Woody Marks, but if a bunch of other players go, you might move into that space. There's a chance we get Hunter back if this guy here doesn't want to take him. He might want he looks like he could be a stacker type. Might want to get Schultz instead. You know, I'm tempted to take Hunter, but it's easier to get. We have Bowers. I think we take. We go Trey Tucker here. Let's go Trey. I like Naylor, but I like Tucker more. And then we probably get Mendoza back unless he takes a fourth. I know we would get another stack on Henry, but you know, we already have Bowers, so he takes Naylor. We get Mendoza at 170, 10 picks past ADP. Yes, I pulled up Trey Tucker. He's not coming back to 191, most likely. He could. But it was really, do I like Naylor or Tucker more? And I'm personally a little bit more leaning into Trey Tucker. So we get the triple real quick there. We get our, was it 6th wide receiver? And then we'll go probably 2 to 3 more wide receivers and 1 to 2 more tight ends. What do we have left? Yeah. So I think that was good, actually. By the ADP, you might say not so much. But, I mean, we got the faller on Mendoza, and then we reached up on Tucker. If we would have taken Naylor, that would have been right at ADP, and nobody would even be saying anything. But because it's, 24 picks or whatever, whatever, I can get some criticism. I don't care. Got a little divisional with Worthy. Did pass up on Hunter Henry, but I don't think that's really that egregious when you have Brock Bowers and you're creating a double stack. And the tight ends are so good back here, to boot. So, I mean, really, what's the marginal difference between, I don't know, Cade Otton and Hunter Henry? Hunter Henry and Pat Freiermuth. I don't know. Hunter Henry and Mason Taylor. I would like Wicks. Wicks just goes. That would have been cool. We're getting a faller on Butte. I think justifiably so to some extent. Okay, well, we're going to take Mason Taylor, but I don't think we need to take him first. I think we can, whatever. We'll just take Booty as a faller here. Maybe he gets nuked a little bit, but his price is reflecting that. Just need a few spike weeks out of him. He went Taylor for his third. So we'll probably just lean into Otton here. Didn't have a huge preference between those two. Get ourselves some Otton at 194. Could probably stop at 2 here, but maybe we'll tack on a third. Assessing these rooms. Feeling a little light at wide receiver. What do we have left? Three more picks. scoop some rookies. Maybe Diggs over Sharps at 146. I think that would have been interesting. Strengthen the wide receiver room a little bit and push Sharps back. But that also, by taking Sharps, I mean, it's theoretically possible to stop here at 5, although that would maybe be a little lighter than I want, and go 10 at the wide receiver spot. So we'll just see. Lots of different ways we could go with these last few picks. And then we'll probably rip another one. So we got a double stack with Drake May, Booty, and Ramadre. We have a double stack with Goff, Gibbs, and JMO. And then we have a and then we have a double stack with Mendoza, Tucker, Bowers. So 3 doubles. An elite with massive rushing upside, along with youth and just development. Goff, who's steady Eddie, and then Mendoza for kind of the rookie upside. Gibbs and Judkins for, our upside and, weekly hitting the lineup. Ramadre, Rodriguez, and Sharps for, their occasional spike weeks or hitting the flex. I don't want to lean into, I don't know, maybe this could be kind of fun. We go like double Broncos here. I don't know. Is that weird? Tell me if that's weird. Maybe we grab a rookie and like Zachariah Branch, but just like gobble up the Broncos? Just take both of them? Okay, he takes Franklin, so maybe we go... We could do Ted Hurst. I also just like Ellick too. I'm just like a big Ellick fan. I know we don't have any rookies on. Yeah, we have one rookie. So it's either Ellick or Zachariah Branch. I kind of just want to go Ellick. Let's go Ellick. A couple second-year guys. Pat Bryant and Ellick. Pat's obviously tethered to Nix, so strong quarterback play. Ellick, maybe not so much. What's up with Cam Ward? I don't know. What's up with Brian Dable and that whole organization? Lots of questions, but I do think Ellick has a chance to, to be a bright spot on that team. So I'm feeling stronger now. When I look at this 9, I'm like, okay, I think we can stop at 9. Olave, JMO, Reed, Worthy, Shaheed, Tucker, Booty, Bryant, Ao Manor. I mean, it's all spikers, save for maybe Bryant and Ellick. We don't know yet, but all these other guys have definitely spiked. Now the question with the 20th pick is, do you add a third tight end? I don't think it's necessary. You can always do 2 with Bowers, regardless of who your second is. I'd be more inclined to grab, like, I don't know, Black. Maybe just grab some Galen Black. Maybe you grab Giddens or a Randall or a Demond Claiborne. I'm trying to sort this out real quick. I mean, the rookies are the black box. DJ Giddens is really, his only real use is if something happens to JT, but if JT gets hurt, then this team is supercharged with him as a sixth. So that would be the reason to go with Giddens. He goes. So, NU collector. Did he have like any? Yeah, he just thought that was a good idea, and I don't blame him. Galen Black, Indiana University, NCAA national champions. Adam Randall, Clemson. Both these guys are bigger in size. Randall is a former wide receiver. Could go Naj too, but I'm not sure what he does outside of these guys. Low ownership on Black and Randall, so that's nice. Could grab Gasecki for a third and just say we're good with these 5 and say screw whatever this last 5 minutes has been of me talking this out. Gibbs, Judkins, Stevenson, C-Rod, Showers versus Gasecki, who is going to play all year long, and he's tethered to Joe Burrow. That's tempting. Can we get away with these 5? 1. Excuse me. I think we could. But we could also get away with these 2. Well, this would be the guy to take Mike Gesicki, and he doesn't do it. Or we just go Big Naj because he falls all the way back to us, so screw it. Big Naj at the end. Why not? 239? Sure. Okay, let's review the team. I think it's a solid squad. We end up with 3 quarterbacks. Drake May. We got a double with Drake May. Jared Goff, we also have a double stack, and Fernando Mendoza with a rookie upside, and he's also double stacked. So we have Gibbs, Judkins, Stevenson, Rodriguez, Sharbs, and Najee at pick 239. Wide receivers, we have Olave, Jamo, Reed, Worthy, Shaheed, Tucker, Booty, and Pat Bryant and Alec Aomanor. And then at tight end, Brock Bowers and Cade Otton. Ends up being a 3-6-9-2. There's depth and strength at every position. We've got an elite, in Bowers. We've got at least one elite here in Olave, one elite here in Gibbs, and one elite here in May. So one elite at each position. You could argue more than one, but at least one. And then I think proper structure, spikers, proper profiles. So yeah, I like this overall. I'm probably giving this a, I don't know, B plus. Paulino says very nice team. So I think we're on the right track. Let's go jump into one more. We're going to knock out one more of these UDFAs. So if you guys want to draft along, we'll do that. Before you jump in, don't jump in yet if you did get out. I've got to check on the kiddo and make sure everything's good there, and then we'll get started. So hang tight before you get into the room, and then I'll come back and we will join at the same time if you guys want to rip this draft together. Give me 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, we are back. The kiddo is still rolling around, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Let's get into this room. So if you guys want to draft with me, now's the time. I'm going to enter the room in 3, 2, 1. Waiting for 4. Now's your chance. Iron sharpens iron. Waiting for 2. And then we'll be off and rolling on this second of 2 drafts, UDFA3, excuse me. It looks like Paulino wants the challenge. Always fun battling friends, e-friends, if nothing else. Waiting for 2, and then it's going to get very, very competitive and very serious. While we wait, let me go ahead and give a quick word out to our sponsors. Again, if you're just joining the room, you're listening to the No Structure podcast presented by Fantasy Fitness. Be sure to check them out at www.fantasyfitness.io. And if you own a home or own and manage rental properties, be sure to check out Property Hub. You can find them at www.heypropertyhub.com. All right. We have Texas made. We have Paulino, heavy hitter, 031. He's drafting in the 2-hole. He just saw a 2-hole draft, so I'm sure he's going to crush it. D Randy 15 at the 3-hole. I'm at the 4-hole, MCH 23. We got Rob Rhodes at the 105, 12 times at the 106. Viking Star Lord at the 107. Cost 88. And let's see, Dante Daddy, Underdog 2022, Mark Brandt, and Aoki at the 112. Texas May takes Gibbs early. B-Rob at the 102. You know, I'm just going to pull up JSN. I do think he is that good. I think he could finish as the 101. Why not? He almost had 1,700 yards, right? Wasn't it? And there's a little slump there. 1,800 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's 24. He's just getting better. All right, to the board we go. So heavy hitter gets B-Rob at the 102, gets a nice little present dropped in his lap. And then Chase at 103. I pull up JSN over Puka, which is how I have it in my ranks anyways. So JSN at the 104, McCaffrey. Puka goes off at the 106 to 12 times. St. Brown at the 107. Taylor and Jefferson. I'll only do this for the first round, so don't worry. Cook at the 110. And Aoki to wrap up this first round. Whoa, I missed Mark Brandt. He gets H-Chan, pulls him up over Genty. I'm not doing that ever. Lamb goes at the 112. And there we go, Genty at the 201. Okay, so here we go. We'll be picking again at 21, and then again in the third round at 28. This should be interesting. Get back to the board for you. Smart. Okay. I'm just going to go Derrick Henry. His situation hasn't changed. Trey McBride's ever so slightly. Still like him, but okay with that. What's his ADP? 19. Nice. Nice. Oh, wow. Am I going to end up with 2? You know what? I'm going to mix it up this time and go A.J. Brown. I don't want to just draft Olave every time. I'll take A.J. Brown. I don't know where he's going to end up, but he's a good football player. Jacobs was also in consideration there. And Paulino gets a killer start. He gets Bijan at 2. Solid. Can't go wrong. Nico Collins at, what was it? Going back here. Let's just go to the board. 23, and then Bowers falls back to him at 26. So can't ask for a better start for Paulino. I'm sure he would agree. Yes, the 3-hole is having the time of his life. Jamar Chase, Zay, and Ladd. He's getting his guys. There's no other way to describe it. Doesn't think he's getting Ladd back at 46, so he pulls him up. But I can't really, yeah, I guess he just wants to get his guys, get a unique build, so gotta love it. Can't hate it. Okay, you don't have to love it, but you can't hate it. Okay, we're going Travion. Travion for our second running back here. So Derrick Henry, Travion Henderson, wide receivers, JSN and AJ Brown. Gives us a lot of flexibility. Got an older guy, younger guy. Yeah, youth, veteran. All four guys have ceilings. Heavy hitter, grabs Judkins. Smart move. Love that pick. And Waddle, nice. Well, I'll grab Monty because I don't care deeply about these other guys. Now, I like what heavy hitter did. I'm not afraid, this is just me throwing this out there, something to consider. Judkins, and then even maybe getting Monty, consolidating on Houston, and you might even get like a Higgins or a Stroud. You're 3 strong then at running back. You'd be Bijan, Judkins, Monty. That sounds pretty insane. And yes, you would at that point only have 1 wide receiver, but I feel like you'd be able to make it up with some double taps later on. You're not as weak as you look. I do like the Waddle pick. I'm not saying that's a bad pick, but another way to play that could have been to go double Houston. So Nico, Monty, get your Judkins because he's a stud and he's the last guy in that range outside of Monty that can handle 18 touches a game. And you got Bijan obviously as your mega star. And then you're winning. You have an elite with Nico and you have an elite with Bowers. So I don't know. I'm just here to, throw out ideas. That's definitely a way I would have played that, or have played that. But that's nothing bad with the Waddle, and he's a faller too. It's just another way to play that, and you get really strong at running back early. And I don't think it's necessarily strong at some sort of like major cost. So food for thought. Okay, we are 5 picks away, coming up on pick 69 and then again 76. We are in a good spot to kind of go a couple of different directions here, but it really will come down to what these next few picks do. Okay. Well, I think the obvious answer on this one is Drake May, and I'll explain why in a second if it isn't obvious. We obviously get the stack. And I'll address your question or your statement here in a second. If AJ Brown goes to New England, then we have a double. If he stays in Philly or goes somewhere else, then we still have a single. May's probably the one outside of May and Daniels, which you wisely took. Good job. I think that was the play. Get that elite. Love the Tyson pick. Hurts goes. I could do this whole double thing with Ramondre and Travion, but that's just a little overkill. So I'm going to go Sutton here. It's not fun. Nobody picks Cortland Sutton and gets excited, but I think at this price, he's fine. He doesn't have maybe the 30-point week in him, but he's got a lot of low 20s. He can hit the lineup frequently as a third. Let's go look at Paulino's. I think it was a rock solid 2 picks for him. Daniels at 71. I could have taken Daniels, to be honest with you, but I had more going for me with when I went Brown here. It was kind of like, well, if he gets traded, then you've sort of built in a double. If he doesn't get traded, you're not reaching. He's still kind of worth pick 28. So, but it's a sneaky way to maybe get a double in. So it was pretty obvious that I would go with May there. But the fact that, Daniels was still on the board, didn't hesitate. Got that elite. And then Tyson, love that too. I would have taken Tyson if you would have not taken him. So smart. So yeah, outside of maybe the one thing I said about how I would have played the running backs and maybe taken Monty instead of Waddle, I think I would have done everything, pretty similar to what you did. And I'm not, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but that's just, how I feel about it. And the point about Waddle, yeah, I like the idea, but I feel like Waddle is too cheap post-trade. Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be made there. I think that's fair, given his age and his explosiveness. If he can stay healthy, stay out of the blue tent, I think you're absolutely right. Okay, 3 picks away. Yeah. I think this is a good time to stack him. I don't think, I definitely think there's smoke that he'll go to. Where is he? Okay. Let's just go Bo and I'm done. Let's go Bo and I'm done. Not sure he gets back to me with a 1, a 1, a 1. Yeah, people could do weird things on the corner. So I just think that it's a possibility. It's a better than 0 chance that he goes to New England. And if he does go to New England, then you've got this double that I don't think too many people are cooking up. I'm sure some people are, but just the thought there. And 4 is like the perfect place to do it because you're almost guaranteed to get May back or May at 69. I think that's, he's there most of the time. So if you're going to do it, I think the 4 hole is kind of the way to play this because it's the right price for Brown in the 3rd. It's the right price for May in the 7th there. And then, oh crap. I'm going Pitts. I'm going Pitts. And heavy hitter nailed it with Rico. That was my target. And I guess that pays off for you because you got him at 95 and you got Waddle. So in the end, no harm, no foul. But yeah, I think the 4 hole, if you're going to do this type of build with May, Travion, and Brown down that stack, this is really like the perfect place to do it. You can do it at the 5 or maybe the 3, but I think it's somewhere in this range where you kind of have to do that. Now back to Paulino's build. Daniels, the elite, 3 really strong running backs. Love that. I wish it would just stay when you kind of override it. I think that's maybe a feature enhancement they can make. And then, yeah, I mean, just super strong here at wide receiver. Bowers, elite, elite. Yep. Yes, sir. You got the start. You got the one strong at each position, which is what I'm trying to do here. May, Henry, right? You can make that case for each of these. I always try to do that when I can. Now, obviously, you don't do it for every build because you want to do different things, late QB or late tight end or whatever. But more often than not, I'm trying to get at least one deep where you just look at each position group and go like, damn, that's pretty solid. All right, coming up on pick 117, I got to think through this, what I want to do here. Solid price on Pollard there at 113. I've definitely been scooping him. Okay, I'm going to go Higgins. I've kind of shifted some of that Houston over to me now a little bit. I've got two guys kind of consolidating there a little bit on Houston. Get some Shuck, maybe a back stack getting cooked up here. We'll see. Thinking. Well, I don't take a lot of Coker, but this one kind of feels like a Coker team or a Shakir team. I'm just thinking it through real quick. Yeah, let's go Coker. I do not take a lot of Coker. He's falling. If I'm going to take him, it's after, Higgins and all those other guys around him are gone. So, sure, a little divisional with Pitts. But really, more than anything, just think it's appropriate for this build. If I'm going to take him, this is the scenario where I'm going to take him. And let's see the board so we can see what Paulino did. Very curious here. So Shuck, either unstacked right now, unless I'm missing something. Yep. And then maybe a back stack. And then getting his fourth with C-Rod like that. And I'm feeling a little weaker now at running back. I've got the 3, but yeah, C-Rod gets back to me at 124. I'm taking him. Might even be taking Mason, but White, I'm just kind of like I said before, if I were, if I was going to take him, it'd be like a scenario like you where you have Daniels on the left side of the board and you can get him in this price range, the 125s, and do a little stack there. But even that being said, like probably better to wait till post draft at this point. We're like less than a week away. Take the cheaper asset in JCM. Okay, 2 picks away. Sorry. It's getting quiet. Why is it getting quiet? I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah, it's between these two guys for me. I guess I'm okay taking Mike Washington here or Coleman. I'll take Coleman. I trust Coleman more. Okay. I think I like Mike Washington as much as I want to get Andrews. I'm just kind of like, let's get Mike Washington. We'll just double up on these 2 rookies. One's got to hit, right? Andrews was interesting. Definitely considered him at that pick. Yeah, Andrews would have been good. But I have a potential Hunter Henry stack, or it's fine because I have Pitts, so I'm not too worried. Took the faller on both of these running backs. And, depending on what their draft stock is next Friday, Saturday, they may rise, they may fall, but we'll see. All right, we are. I'm just like reading the board and reading teams and trying to. This is where it gets serious. This is where it gets really serious. So I am just assessing, seeing what's happening, and then kind of going from there. Wow. Okay. Well, I'll get the stack. Hunter Henry. So passing up on Andrews, I guess, feels appropriate now that I got Hunter Henry back in my lap and stacked up, double stacked with Hendo and May, and then Hunter Henry and Henderson. So that feels good. I feel like I played that decently and it panned out. Okay, if Naylor was there, I would have went Naylor. Naylor goes. And so I'm pulling up Dontavian Wicks. This could turn out two ways, and I think the way I'm playing this is if A.J. Brown stays, then he's more of a third. But he's also kind of created the writing on the wall for A.J. So A.J. clears out. He becomes the 2. A.J. goes to New England. He's stacked up, and I potentially have that triple stack here with May, Hendo, Brown, and Hunter Henry. And if he stays, then, maybe he hurts Wicks. But, gosh, there's just too much smoke for me to think he's staying. So we grab Wicks here. Also in consideration was Jalen Sampson, but I don't know. Okay, let's look at what we had cooking here for Paulino. So he gets the back stack with Johnson, and then gets Mendoza stacked up with Bowers. Nice. So if I could just stay on that one and see it, it would be nicer. Okay, we got Bijan, Judkins, Rico, yep, and then Emmett for some rookie upside. Nico, Waddle, Tyson, Reed, Diggs, Smart, double. Probably could stop at 2. You could add a third at the right price. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feels like a 8. Yeah, it feels like 8 is probably where I'm ending, something like that. And then probably 6, yeah. 3, 6, 8, 2, most likely, but you got to play the board too. Well, the only player that I really like in this range is Trey Tucker. All these other guys have warts, bigger warts than Trey. Some divisional correlation with Bo Nix. That gets me my 7th. No tight ends in the area of any consequence. No running backs that I really care for. So pretty easy pick there for me. Trey Tucker, and then maybe add on a Bronco or 2, and another running back or 2. 1, 2, 3. This could be a 6 or a 7. I would like another tight end at the right price. I'm going to go Tua because I have Pitts, and I could also, even if it was just a single stack with Pitts, like that's pretty sweet. And I don't think that you have to stop at 2 with May and Nix. I think it's entirely fair if you do. But if you get Tua and he kind of falls there, and because I ended up taking Pitts, a little skinny stack doesn't hurt. I could even add on like a Jahan Dotson as one of my last 2 wide receivers and get a double and some low ownership. Still another, there's still time for another tight end. That changes a little bit though. That's probably going to bring this down to like a 3, 6, 8, 3. So I've got space for, yeah. Maybe I just avoid the other Broncos altogether because it's like I don't know what's going to happen with Franklin and Pat Bryant. Maybe I do take one. I don't know. We'll see. I'm more inclined to try to get we'll see. I was going to say tight end, but we'll see what's there. Okay, we are 5 picks away, 3 picks left in this draft. All right, well, it's either Franklin or Ray Davis. I think Ray's probably more valuable here, and we got some divisional. So we'll get Ray because there's, I could go a couple different directions with the other 2 picks. Pitts and Henry, you could get away with that. That is light, but you could get away with it. We're done at quarterback. We're done at running back. We have 2 more picks, and it's probably 1 more wide receiver and 1 more tight end. Excuse me. We could go Franklin here, or we could also get Jahan Dotson. And what's the tight end situation looking like? So Gesicki's still there. We probably want to grab Gesicki if he makes it to us. I think he's probably more important at this point than Franklin. I think so. Yeah, because we could get Dotson. And I don't know how much of a difference there is. So we'll go Gesicki. If we don't go Gesicki, then we're looking at Tongs, Dulcich, Theo, maybe Evan Ingram if you want to stack. You might have to go all the way down here to like Arroyo. So yeah, Gesicki tethered to Joe Burrow is probably more appropriate. And then we find 1 more wide receiver. They're Troy Franklin, Dotson, or we have to go somewhere else. Heavy Herder gets Ted Hurst. We'll look at your team here in a minute. It looks strong from a quick glance. We are one pick away from wrapping up this second UDFA3. I'm having a blast. I may sound like I'm chilling, but I'm having a blast. It's always fun to build good best ball teams. I like the null pick. Consolidation, you got Mooney. These are all the right players. Yeah. Well, Franklin went. So the hope is Dotson comes back for low ownership, double stack with Tua. If not, there's other ways we can go with this, but that would be my preference. That would be my preference. I could also get on board with Kyle Williams here too. So it's kind of between these two. Shit, you could throw out Douglas, Mario Douglas. Kind of between these three. Well, Demario Douglas, I know is good at football. I know he's good at football. But then I'm looking like, is that, you get, let's say, yeah. There's just a lot that could happen there. I think there's less that's going to happen here. Let's go Dotson. It's close between these three. You can make a case for any of them. I mix them all in. I don't know if that's like a mega stack at that point. If Brown does get traded, then it's like Brown, Hendo, Douglas, and Henry. That's like a quad stack. Feels a little heavy, so I don't know. Just balance it out a little bit. Love the Arroyo pick. Late. That's solid. All right, let's go through both these teams real quick, and then we'll call it a night. I'll start with my team. Ends up being a 3-6-8-3. We got Drake May stacked up with Travion, possibly AJ Brown. If not, then Travion and Hunter Henry. So a double, possibly a triple. Then we have Bo Nix, and he's just single stacked with Cortland Sutton. Could have maybe added a Franklin, gave that up to get Gesicki. And then we have Tua double stacked with Kyle Pitts and Jahan Dotson for the low ownership. And he also could be the 2 or 3 in that offense. So, we'll have to see what happens there. Running backs. Derrick Henry, Big Dog's Got to Eat. Travion Henderson, Monty. Back-to-back on the rookie running backs here. Coleman, slight faller at 141, and Mike Washington Jr. about a round past ADP for him at 148. And then Ray Davis, if anything happens to Cook, super high value handcuff, also a little divisional. Wide receivers, we get JSN, AJ Brown, Cortland Sutton, Higgins, Coker, Wicks, Tucker, and Dotson. A solid 8. I think we're strong at the top with 2. I think Sutton is solid. And Higgins for second-year breakout. Coker, I'm not sure what to make of his season and where he'll go this year. Wicks, he's risen and kind of solidified himself as maybe a 3 there. I think he's better than Hollywood Brown. Trey Tucker and Jahan Dotson, as I mentioned before. And then tight end, Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry for the stack. and 6 picks past ADP. And then Mike Gesicki. Could have went Arroyo. That was the other play I thought I was, other way I was going to maybe play it, was going to go Franklin. So Franklin instead of Dotson, and then go Arroyo instead of Gesicki. And that would have been another way I was contemplating playing that. And that would have given me a double on Bo and a single on a single stack here with Tua. So anyways, different ways to get there. Let's go look at heavy hitter 031, Paulino, 89. We have the elite in Daniels. We have the elite in Robinson, elite in Nico, and elite in Bauer. So at each position group, he's got an elite. We have Daniels, and he's unstacked for now, but Tyson, Hurst, you never know. And he doesn't need to be stacked. You don't have to stack these guys like Daniels and May and Allen and Lamar. And then we have Chuck. We got a back stack with him and Jawan, a little skinny. And maybe these rookies end up in New Orleans, who knows? And then Mendoza stacked up with Brock Bowers. In each room, just solid, 3 solid players, all past ADP, Daniels, Chuck, and Mendoza. Running backs, Bijan, Judkins, Rico, C-Rod, Emmett Johnson, and a solid price here, some divisional correlation with Jacksonville and Houston. And that's about a round past ADP, so you got to love that. Nico, Waddle, Tyson, Reed, Diggs, Mooney, Knoll, Hurst. The appropriate amount, 3683, but I mean, I'm just kind of looking at the count in each room. The structure is perfect. If you wanted to go 2 here and add, yeah, there's really no place to add. So, I mean, you played that appropriately. Brock, Bowers, Juwan Johnson, and Elijah Arroyo. It's the right profiles. 2nd-year breakout incoming for Arroyo. So, yeah, this is going to be one of the 4 that gets through. I feel pretty confident about that. And then hopefully I'm right there with you. So, yeah, really solid build. I mean, there's not a ton of criticism. Like I said, I might have done the Monty thing up here and not taken Waddle. That might have changed things a little bit. Maybe end up with like a Stroud, or something like that. But the way that this all panned out for you, super solid. Awesome. Anyways, I appreciate you guys being here as always. Definitely follow us on YouTube at Fantasy Fitness IO, or you can find us on X at Fantasy Fit IO. Always enjoy having you in the room, Paulino. Got to get you on the pod sometime if you're ever up for it. You're welcome to join the show. We'll do a double draft, or a team draft, that is. But yeah, we'll be growing the channel all summer, so be sure to check that out, and give us a like and a follow if you guys enjoy the content. And be sure to check out our sponsors at Fantasy Fitness. That's at www.fantasyfitness.io, or Property Hub, www.heypropertyhub.com. Really appreciate you guys being here for the show. It's been a blast. Hopefully we see you again here soon, Paulino. I'll be streaming with Zero before you know it. If you missed any of our recent pods, you're definitely going to want to check those out for some cool builds and roster construction theory. But yeah, love this build. Mine and Paulino's, that is. It's These are just solid teams, well thought out. Gotta love it. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks again for tuning in as always. And until next time, peace.